What's happening? Of course, you know it's your boy B-Hop Radio Shout In. Stepping in the building, I got my podcast family off in this thing. Big Court, what's good with it, boss?
What's going on with your family?
Man, feeling good, feeling great. First of all, Court, what the hell is you doing in this A-Town, boss?
Bruh, I came down here to see you.
Oh, get out of here, man. You came down to kick flavor
Yeah, real shit, bro.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, like we was talking before the thing, bro. You know, you inspired me to do my thing with the podcast, bro.
Court.
So, you know, I had to get down here, come from LA to come holler at you, you know what I'm saying?
Well, see, I'm glad you came down here because I was watching your podcast the other day.
Appreciate that.
And that one with Bars.
Yeah, shout out to the homie
God.
Bars. There you go.
Now, I watched that thing. Me and my boy Shaw was talking about that. That was another masterpiece. First of all, we've been waiting to hear from Bars all these goddamn years. Okay, that's number one. Number two, he was in rare form telling it all.
Yeah.
What was it like being able to get the game directly from the horse's mouth, Court?
Well, you know what? The thing about, shout out to Big Boz, man. You know, that's my brother from another mother. You
That's
know what
right.
I mean? And my relationship with Boz go back 20 plus years.
My God.
Yeah. So, you know, I've been fortunate enough to be able to get that, what y'all saw, just an hour and some change. I've been getting that for 20 years at my disposal. You know what I'm saying? which I'm thankful for. I'm gracious for.
Yeah.
You know, Boz and P have always been kind of like my big brothers. You know,
Yeah.
I'm an only child. So, you know, but yeah, you know, Boz doesn't do media, you know, and if you know, in the past 20-some plus years of No Limit, you rarely see him
At all.
So he really only did that for me.
Of course.
He did that for me.
Of course.
Yeah.
So, I mean, being around P and Bars for 20-some years, man, can you just break down some of the game that they laid on you? And then, first of all, how the hell did you even get around them to begin with?
Well, see, this the thing, bro. You know, I'm from Kansas City, Missouri.
That's
you
right.
You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the KCK side as well. You know, I was a rapper back in the 90s, you know, and so it wasn't too much industry in Kansas City. You know, it was just, we had a handful. We had like Vel Bacardi, Tech Nine,
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying,
Tech
Rich
Nine.
the Factor.
Yeah.
It was only just a couple. And so this is way before the internet. You
Yeah,
know, some of the
come
youngsters, they don't know nothing about that. This
Come on.
this was to listen to my demo, you know what I mean,
with
where you
you.
was trying to get on. And so I basically, bruh, I used to send tapes to the record labels, you know what I'm saying? But this is back when you would send it to the majors and they would send it back, we don't accept unsolicited material. I didn't know what that meant.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because you got to figure, I'm 17 years old, you
Yeah.
know? And I was a part of a group called CCG with my partner Cisco.
Okay.
And, you know, we was just trying to get on, bro. And so when I was sending the tapes to Jive and, you know, all these majors and shit like that, I couldn't get nobody. So I said, well, damn, let me send them to smaller labels. I didn't have the term. I didn't even understand what an independent was. I didn't even have that verbiage, you know.
Yeah.
So I ended up sending it to like Ruthless and Dog Day Records and Black Market and No Limit and Rap A Lot and all of that. And so what I would do is I would call the numbers on the back of the tapes and the CDs. So P had a voicemail. This is when he was in Oakland. And so I would just I would call and just fill the voicemail up all day, every day. I didn't want nobody else leaving no messages. You know what I'm saying? And I probably sent them about 10 tapes.
My God.
You know, and I just be on there, yeah, my name, Cord Dog, I'm from Kansas City, I'm hot, this, that, and the other. And so I think I end up getting on his nerves. So we sent Mr. Serve on to get the package, you know, and end up listening to it. And he called me and was like, hey, I'm doing Down South Hustlers. That was the first album that I was on No Limit. If people remember the song R.I.P.
Yeah.
on Down South Hustlers.
Yes, sir.
To the Blue Magic sample.
Okay, then.
That's me that rapped third. I was 17, you know what I mean? Yeah. And that's my picture on the inside of Down South Hustlers with CCG. I got on the black. So a lot of people just be putting that together even 20 plus years later.
Exactly.
You know, so that was how I initially got with No Limit.
Okay, talk to me about that Down South Hustlers time, because I mean that's a classic project
Yeah,
as well,
it
man.
is.
So what was it like being a part of that?
Man, it was crazy, bro. That was like a dream come true because, again, this is the time that you got 8 Ball and MJG, UGK,
Come on.
you know, Trey 8. You have a lot, you know, P and No Limit, they all bubbling. And, you know, compilations, P kind of stamped and made compilations you know, a popular thing to do in that arena. I mean, he got that game from the
facts.
Bay Area, but he blew it up. You know what I'm saying?
I'm with you.
And so, you know, having some of the hottest artists at that time to just be able to share, to be able to be on the same album with them. Now, you got to think, I'm a 17-year-old kid in Kansas City, Missouri. You know what I'm saying? And that was my first gold record, too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so, man, that was a great time. You know, that's where music, because you know that's buying albums.
Yeah,
and all
exactly.
of that. That ain't streaming. You had the experience of going to the music store, buying the album, smelling it, reading the credits. You know what I'm saying?
Crazy.
So, yeah.
Okay, now, Court, when you speak of that down south hustlers, though, that means you came in at a time that it was starting to bubble. It hadn't gotten all the way crazy yet. So first of all, when you touched down as an artist, what was it like coming in there and seeing, you know, being on the cusp of all of that greatness that was about to happen and knowing that I got in here just in time?
Man, I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't know all of that because you got to think. You know, hindsight's 2020. I'm a 17-year-old kid with no reference point of no music business entertainment. I just know this is something I want to do.
That's right.
So I'm watching. I mean, to me, it's big, but I don't know what I'm watching. You know what I'm saying? Because at the time, like I said, P was big already to us. Yeah. But he hadn't, you know, he was just
he hadn't become the icon yet.
He hadn't become the icon, but to us, he was already there.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So being in California, being in Oakland, sharing an apartment with Mia X, with Servon, with C Murder, with Beast by the Pound, and you know, and and you got to understand it was a funny dynamic too, because we are the only people that aren't from Louisiana. So I had to adjust even to the lingo. I remember the first time, I think it might have been Serve, where he called me a bitch. But no, yeah, that's how we like, hold on, bro. We don't talk, you talking, did he call me a bitch, right? But then in New Orleans, a bitch is a person, place, a thing. Yeah. Everything is a bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, whoa, bitch, I see you, bitch. I see you out there, bitch. We in this bitch.
We in it, bitch.
Whoa, bitch, was cracking with you, bitch. So I had to adjust to that. And I had to adjust to that. And so it was just a really a good experience. It was the first time we had been in a big studio. You know what I'm saying? P had took us to K-Lou. Shout out to K-Lou up in the Bay Area. Al Eaton, these are big producers. Al Eaton did a lot of Too Short's early stuff. Yeah. And these were heavyweights that we just would see on album covers, you know what I mean? And now we're recording with them. And I'm literally watching, you know, KLC and Beast by the Pound. I heard I'm About It when it wasn't even mixed. I heard Ice Cream Man instrumental.
Crazy.
Not understanding what that would become. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I can remember hearing I'm About It and being like, damn, what is this? Because I never heard nothing like it, you know? And I remember P saying, man, he said, man, I'm going to have the whole world saying I'm About It. And I remember thinking like, all right, you know what I'm saying? All right, you know, and yeah, I just watched it with my own eyes. But what I also witnessed was P's genius. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? His foresight. Yeah. And his work ethic. I was like, damn, this dude don't stop. Yeah. He don't stop. You know, and it was a fearlessness that I would take on, you know, for years to come. Yeah. Where, for P, it's like no dream or no goal or no task is too daunting. Nothing is too lofty. You know what I'm saying? If he get it in his mind that he won't do it, he gonna do it. But not only do it, but put the work in to do it.
That's right.
You know, and whatever it is that he wanna do, he goes after with utter confidence. You know what I'm saying? So that was another thing that I learned. Confidence. Like, shit, just do it. Come on. Half the battle showing up and just doing it. So I witnessed that at a early age, you know what I'm saying? So that had a profound effect on me as I grew as well, you know, through the business and even as a young man, you know.
Okay, so at what point did you realize that it was going all the way down and things had changed from Down South Hustlers and now About It had become a part of America's lexicon and everybody was saying that thing?
We was out in California for a few months. When we went back to Kansas City, that's when I seen it. When I went back home, we like in Kansas City, we was already fucking with P because 99 Ways to Die was bubbling. You know, Ghetto's trying to kill me. But when I came back home and all I heard was I'm About It in every car, Ice Cream Man in every car, all of that. You know what I'm saying? And then, yeah, and just in my travels, it would, and then the magazines, you see these, you know, these double ads, these 4-page ads, and you like, oh yeah, this shit changing.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So yeah.
When everybody go from staying in the same place to having their own things, though, man, how did that change as far as just the elevation of the team in general when the money started flowing on top of that?
Yeah. Well, see, this is the thing. It was a strange dichotomy for me, you know, because, see, I was a part of a duo. So me and P, like when we first met, we clicked like brothers. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? My partner that I was with, him and P really kind of didn't. You know what I'm saying? So I was kind of faced with this dilemma to see where it's going, right? So I had to kind of watch. I always maintained the relationship with P, but I kind of had to watch the success from the sideline. You know what I'm saying? You know, even though I achieved my own independent success, you know, that I did, you know, but you know, I had to watch my brother do his thing, you know what I'm saying, while I kind of did mine, but we kept the personal relationship. Exactly. And then once we moved back out to LA, you know, we both been in LA I've been 20 years, him a little bit over. Yeah. Then that's when we went back to rocking every day like that, you know. But yeah, I kind of watched it, you know, and was cheering along. I was cheering along, you know what I'm saying?
What was going through your mind when you had to sit back and watch it because of that crazy nigga in your group?
You know what? I was so happy for my brother, you know what I'm saying? And again, I still kind of rode the wave. You know what I mean? I still, like, I can say this, right? Financially, I still reaped the benefit because I was independent. You know what I'm saying? I maybe didn't get the notoriety, you know, but I still was able to leverage the affiliation. Exactly. You know, but again, I always kept the personal relationship. That was always intact. You know, so I'm still getting game. I'm still getting advice. I'm still, you know what I'm saying? Even some things I was able to do because of the relationship. Facts. You know what I'm saying? Facts. You know, them calls was made like, hey, cash him out. You know what I'm saying? Whatever album he got 50,000 pieces, cash him out. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So it was bittersweet in a sense. You know what I mean?
So what were you doing during that time though, man? While you watching them doing their thing? I mean, what was Court doing holding it down?
You know, I put out several independent albums back in the 90s, early 2000s. So we put out the CCG albums. We put out, of course, I was Court Dog back then. A lot of people, I was in Murder Dog all the time. I was in Double XL, all that. I stayed in Murder Dog. You know what I mean? Shout out to Murder Dog. Yes, sir. You know, and I put out several, you know, what some would consider to be, you know, underground independent classics as Court Dog. So, you know, I did my thing. I you know, I ain't mad at it. Exactly. I ain't mad at it. I did my thing, you know, and I also, you know, as a man, I stood up. I stood on my own. You know, I always had my own money, my own vision. And then I started getting into other arenas of business, and I excelled in that as well, and other arenas of entertainment as well.
Speaking of those other arenas, man, I mean, that Holding Court podcast. Going crazy out here in these streets. Talk to me about cranking that thing up, and what have been some of your favorite podcasts so far that you done did, man?
Well, you know, I mean, even before we get there, we talk about how I even got to doing the podcast. You know, P and I, well, it was me, P, Jay Tweezy, and Juggy. We had a show called Doing the Most on Playboy Radio about 5 years ago.
That's crazy.
Yeah. That was my first time, you know, being exposed to radio. You know what I'm saying? And it was Jay Tweezy that told me. He pulled me to the side and said, Court, you kind of good at this. And I was like, really? I never thought about that. You know what I'm saying? And so he was like, yeah, you good at this. And so that kind of, it was a little curiosity, you know. So some years passed. And so during the quarantine, to be honest, well, I would go live on social media. You know what I mean? And people would always kind of hang on to my words of encouragement and my advice and, you know, sharing knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. And, you know, people just like to hear me talk and like my personality. So my supporters and my fans would kind of push me to do that. So during the quarantine, I started watching podcasts. We all sitting still, you know what I mean? So I was watching you.
Yeah.
I watched you. You know what I'm saying? Salute to you. You know, salute to you. You inspired me to jump off the porch with the podcast thing.
Come on with it.
Gangster Chronicles. Shout out to Steele over there. That's my partner. And you know, Drink Champs.
Yes, sir.
Of course, Vlad TV. So I'm watching all this different, you know, content. And it just I was like, yeah, I should try my hand at this, you know. And my partner, producer Ken, who I produce, who's my co-producer, that's my partner, my homeboy. We done other productions together, and he's the one that helped bring the visual to fruition, you know, because that's what he works in, you know. So we had the whole set built up, you know. We shoot on a sound stage, the 3K, with the whole production thing. We treated it like a TV show. Yeah. And so when I started booking guests, you know, a lot of the guests that I had was low-hanging fruit. You know, I've been in Hollywood and in the game a long time. So, you know, when your face card is good and your reputation, your name is solid, you know, people will show up for you.
That's right.
You know, when you operate with integrity. Thanks. So, yeah, you know, so having, you know, Michael Jai White come through, Chico, you know, Silk the Shocker, you know, these are people that I called, and they was like, come on. They was like, yeah, when you want me. You know what I mean? But I would say some of my most memorable, I would have to say, because my bucket list, man, I was blessed, bro. I started with my bucket list. I started with it. You know what I'm saying? So having Ice-T, having the OG Ice-T ingratiate me and support me, you know what I'm saying? And give a phenomenal interview, you know, and not only that, to support it and promote it and post it, you know, and stand on it. Jay Prince, shout out to old man, you know, over at Rap A Lot, you know, he showed up for me. Those were my main two, and I say memorable. I would have to say those are the most memorable.
When Ice-T hits for $1 million, though, I mean, what went through your mind? You like, they gotta hit $1 million in a bit.
Hey, nigga, I was, I felt like I had arrived with that little million.
Come
you know
on,
what I'm saying?
Man, come on.
You know, because one thing about me, man, is I set really high goals, and you know, P tells me this all the time, and my old lady tells me this as well. Like, I'm super hard on myself. You know, we all are. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? I don't fuck with mediocrity. You know what I'm saying? So when I'm watching and I'm looking at people like Vlad and somebody, you know, I'm looking at Nori and $1 million worth of game, I'm like, damn,
I got some work to do.
I got some work to do. You know what I mean? But then also I understand that, you know, comparison is the thief of joy. You know what I'm saying? Comparison,
don't let it steal it. Don't let it steal it.
Comparison is the thief of joy, and you have to kind of, you know, walking your truth and your purpose, you know what I'm saying? And understand that some of these people have years ahead of you as well. Yeah. So I had to remind myself that,
and distribution.
And they you know, they're in the system. They have a machine, you know. and you know, it was something I just started. And so you know, but I've been enjoying it so much, bro. That's why I tell people, like, I'm always gracious when people see me out in public and they recognize me from the podcast because the content resonates. Thanks. You know what I'm saying? But it resonates because, you know, it's in my purpose. It's something I'm not doing for money. It's something that I actually enjoy doing. That's right. You know what I'm saying? So I be telling you got to be a purpose chaser, not a paper chaser.
Come on now.
Yeah.
Jay Prince, being able to pick his brain. What was that like, being able to say, okay, I'm about to sit down with Jay Prince and get the game directly from the Godfather?
Yeah, real shit. That was an honor, brother. Yeah. That was an honor. I mean, to be, you know, received by Jay Prince, because, you know, he's not going to show up for everybody. That's true. Know that. You know what I'm saying? and to be able to, you know, he answered my questions, and, you know, Jay is very intentional. And you know, collected when he speaks. You know what I'm saying? But also, more importantly, I want to get stuff that hadn't been talked about, you know. So I go into these things. I really don't consider them necessarily interviews, but more so conversations. You know what I'm saying? Dialogues. So I wanted to. It was questions I even wanted to ask just from when I was a kid. Come on. Because I told him, I said, bro, I've been watching you since I was a kid. Exactly. You know, I would see your name when you was James Smith. You know what I'm saying? When you was James Smith on the back of the CDs, and I would hear your voice, and it was something about him that I was like, damn, dude is like an enigma. I wanted to know more. You know what I mean? Thanks. So for him to embrace me, you know what I'm saying, and really, you know, just give me game. He dropped some jewels. You know what I'm saying? Some quotables too.
Facts. Being around Bars and P.
Yeah.
what was it that you learned about teamwork that made the dream work, man? Because one thing about P, we know that he's the face and he's the man,
Right.
but also when you got bars in your corner, beats by the pound in your corner, and everybody in the tank on your corner, it's going to be kind of hard to lose with that crew that's really behind you. Yeah. So can you speak to me about the teamwork that you witnessed over there and how important that is as far as the trajectory of anybody's success?
Yep. It's knowing your role. Everybody playing their position. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Knowing your role and everybody playing their position. That's the most important thing. You know, No Limit is, I can be honest with you, it's almost ran like a military, somewhat. You know, understanding that P is the boss. You know what I'm saying? P is the colonel. That's straight up. Like, you can give your opinion, you can suggest stuff. That's always welcome. But at the end of the day, he's going to make the decision. And you know, he has the, you know, P always, like I would tell people sometime, you know, sometimes you may think that things don't make sense, you know what I'm saying, or why he's doing certain things, but he has all the information. A broader view. He has a broader view. Come on. Exactly. His vantage point is different than yours. Exactly. So that's why, just go with it. That's where the trust comes in. Play your position. See, you trying to do too much. You know what I mean? I'm with you. Yeah, you overthinking. That's above your pay grade. You know what I'm saying? So do what you're supposed to be doing and let him do what he's supposed to be doing. So I think just understanding, you know, play your position, bro. That's with anything, man. You know, and again, have integrity. You know, No Limit for me has always been about brotherhood too. You know what I'm saying? Everybody that wore that tank, whether we speak or not, or whether they're old artists, whether they're disgruntled artists or whatever, you know, it's still a brotherhood. You had that tank, I still look at you as a brother. That's you know what I'm saying? That's right. That's just what it is. Having folks like Crip Mac on the show though, man, I mean, and not exploiting them like everybody else. Yeah. Break that down to me. Yeah, shout out to the homie Crip Mac. You know what I mean? Nifty on 50. That's the little homie, man. That's my little nephew. You know, I like Crip Mac. You know, he's definitely a character. I just, you know, in good conscience, you know, he's an active gangbanger. You know what I'm saying? He's an active gangbanger. He's a real Crip, and he's serious about his cripping. You know what I mean? He dead serious about his cripping. Yeah. And understanding that culture, you know, I grew up in that gang culture as well. But, you know, I'm an OG now. So, you know, I would be remiss if I didn't offer him some type of counsel. You know, I've been there. You know, like I told him, he's younger than my oldest child. So, you know, I told him, like, bro, you know, I've been burying homeboys longer than you've been alive. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So trust me, I know where this goes. Yeah. So I couldn't in good conscience just he and ha with him the whole time without giving him some real shit. Game. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. Understand that, like, bro, the hood is the hood. I get it. But you got to understand, bro, when you go to jail or something happened to you, they not going to take care of your family. You know, like, you got to be here for your kids. Like, that's cool. You know, it's cool to grow to be an old man, be successful, have grandkids. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, dying at a young age, like, cause I told him what was real. I was like, look, dog, you think the hood, when you dead, them niggas is they get a couple T-shirts made, you know, a fish fry, a GoFundMe, and other than that, nigga might try to fuck your old lady or something. Other than that, they gon', you know, you might get a couple RIP tattoos. Past that, it's all for what? And they on their way to come see you any damn way. Yeah, you know, and I understand it. You know, we all can be tribal. You know, I'm tribal with where I'm from, my city. Yeah. I'm tribal with No Limit. I get it, but and it's only when it moves to a negative space, you know, to where you start perpetuating, you know, the bullshit and violence and different things like that. You know, like I said, No Limit, that's my brotherhood. But you know, we not trying to bang on nobody. We ain't trying to, you know, exact nothing on nobody or press nobody or nothing like that. Answer me this, though, Court. With somebody like Crip Mac, do you think that you can actually reach him and get him to 360 that thing, or is it just is what it is? I hate to say it, but I'm going to be 100. Sometimes some people, you know, as the saying goes, you know, it's easier to raise strong children than to repair broken men. You know what I'm saying? So some people gotta hit that wall. You know what I mean?
I with you.
Some people you can talk, you can talk, you can yell. Nothing's gonna speak as loud or hit as hard as life and life experiences. You just hope that whatever that is, it's not, it's not permanent. You know what I'm saying? Where there's nothing they can't come back from.
Exactly.
So, I mean, Crip Mac is not as he's not slow. You know what I'm saying? He's not. People think that he's somehow remedial or something. I mean, he acknowledges a level of mental instability. But he's not a fool.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? He's making cognizant choices. But I think that he's just programmed, But I pray for him. I got love for him. I always try to offer him counsel when I can,
And I think that's what I'm hitting on to, the deprogramming of people. Because, we come up in the hood and the gang culture and the thug life. That's what you presented at a young ass age, and folks embrace it.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? And after you done embraced that for a good 5-6 years, then hear somebody come tell me something, no, that ain't cool. It's like, what do you mean?
Yeah, I think what it is, man, because I had to do it. I had to deprogram myself. You got to be willing to evolve and do the work.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's shit that I had to check myself on. Like, even in my city, you know how niggas do it everywhere. But, the mean mugging, we deal with each other so heavy-handedly. And, to be honest with you, that's kind of the remnants of like Willie Lynch, you know what I'm saying? That distrust and that disdain we automatically have for each other.
That's right.
And I had to check myself. When I moved from Kansas City to LA, I moved right to Brentwood to like a rich area. And I can remember, I'm looking at other brothers and I'm sizing him up. I don't even know him, but I'm picking him apart.
Rich area still,
but listen, but that's just how my mind is, right? I'm looking at a nigga, I'm picking him apart. Man, look at this square ass nigga. Look at this bitch ass nigga. Like, and so I had to check myself to say, hold up. One day I stopped and said, hold on, I don't even know him. Why am I doing that?
Nigga, you crazy.
But it was that negative thing that I learned and picked up from the environment.
Survival.
Yeah. So I started changing. I start speaking. To break the ice. And then one other thing that I stopped too. One little thing. The eyebrow. I was like this all the time. So I got a different energy. As soon as I did this and raised them, people start speaking. I start getting a different type of vibe.
Exactly.
So I'm saying all that to say, I start doing the work just internally. And I tell these young cats, man, don't be afraid to evolve. Like, it's okay to change. You know what I'm saying? It's okay to not think and do what you did 10 years ago. Because if you think about some of the shit that you did when you was younger and you don't think that you were stupid, you probably still are stupid. You know what I mean? Real shit.
That's the truth.
Probably still is stupid.
Okay, now I gotta move the conversation to Bone Thugs and Harmony, man.
Oh yeah, shout out to my bros.
Talk to me. How did you link up with Bone? And then I saw you at that versus on that stage. Like, they gonna be Court over there. Wait, he run out there and raise hell. What was going on, Court?
Yeah. Hey, shout out to Bone Thugs, man. Listen, I've been rocking with Bone. Me and Flesh, aka Stack, that's my brother. We go back. I got songs with Busy and Lazy Bone that are 20 years old. You know what I'm saying?
Serious?
Yeah. So I've been knowing those cats for since the late 90s, early 2000s.
How did y'all come across each other, and what was it like when you met them? Because Bone, in their own right, they were some rock stars too.
Yeah, real shit.
Okay, they were some that was an iconic group that we ain't even seen since then.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
We ain't never seen no Thugs and Harmony.
Yes, sir. Them are the Temptations of rap right there.
Exactly.
Yeah. I came across, I met them differently. So Busy, rest in peace to Rick. Damn, I'm trying to think. I can't remember Rick's last name at the moment. But anyway, rest in peace to Rick. He's the one that Double R. He's the one that introduced me and Busy back in the early 2000s.
Okay.
Rick Robinson, that's his name. My apologies. Rick Robinson, that's how I met Busy. This was probably 99, 2000.
Okay.
Me and Lazy met. Shout out to Black Hole. You know what I mean? Shout out to Kenny McLeod. He was the producer of a lot of Bone Thugs Creeping on the Come Up album. He was one of their main producers along with DJ Unique. But Kenny McLeod was my guy, and I used to record at his spot up in the Hollywood Hills.
Yeah.
So he introduced me to Lazy Bone. So this was probably like 02. something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, so I go back with them, you know what I mean? And when Flesh got out of prison, me and him linked up on some other shit that we was working on. So yeah, they're my guys, they're my brothers. Yeah.
Versus Bone Thugs versus 3-6.
Yeah.
You standing over there, you seeing all hell break loose. What the hell was going through your mind, Court?
Well, see, this the thing. So this the thing. So I come with Busy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm Busy's guest. I come with Busy, right?
Yeah.
And you know, Busy's a wild boy. But so initially I was on stage. So I said, you know what? Because I'm a huge 3-6 fan as well. I'm a Bone and 3-6 fan.
Come on.
So I was in heaven. I knew every song from both sides.
Exactly.
Right? So I go up in VIP. I'm up there, you know, chilling with Afion Crockett, me and him talking, and Steve Lobel. No, Steve Lobel was on the stage. But Steve Rifkin, and Fat Joe was up there, and so. Man, it did what it did, you know. So I'm watching like, oh shit, this real, you know what I mean? So I run down there. And B had went to the car, I guess to cool off or whatever. And so I walked him back in, you know what I'm saying, and kind of because you know he showed up with me and he had another guy with him. So I just stood on stage to make sure that he was straight. You know what I'm saying? But it was a monumental night, to be honest with you, because to me it was like you had nigga shit and black excellence all at once.
Same time.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm with you.
You feel me? And then also it demonstrated to the younger generation how you can resolve conflict. You know what I'm saying? Because nobody died. Thanks. Nobody held nothing. They hugged it out. You can even shoot. You can have a disagreement, shoot a fair one. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? And shake hands and do what you got to do. Yeah. You feel me? So I think the fact that they were able to display that was super dope.
Exactly.
Yeah, man, it was wild, you know, and it kind of put me in a precarious kind of position because I'm like, fuck, I'm over here with Bone. I'm like, but you know,
I love them niggas too.
Yeah, but I'm like, I fuck with 3-6, and you know, it was a little bit of that sizing up and looking. I'm like, fuck, I don't want these niggas to think I don't like them, you know what I'm saying? But Bones is my guy, you know, but then I'm No Limit. You know what I'm saying? I'm from a whole different crew.
Exactly.
So, but it was all love. It was all love with everybody, you know.
Chronicles of a Soldier, the book, man.
Yeah.
What's all in this thing, Court?
Oh, man. See, so the reason I had to write a book, man, Chronicles of a No Limit Soldier, mainly because I was slow to social media. You know what I'm saying? My story is somewhat, to depending on who's looking, a little incomplete because of that. Yeah. You know, I didn't like social media. I didn't understand it at first. I only been on social media 5 years. There's many people that have Facebooks and IGs 10, 12 years, you know what I mean? So there was a period of 15, 16, 17 years where I'm producing movies, producing TV shows. I'm doing so much cool shit, but I just what, you know, I'm from the old school, man, where, you know, I come from a certain type of background where you don't even like taking pictures with cats because you want to be able to have deniability of even knowing him if you need to. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because you know, back where we come from, you on a picture, then y'all a gang, y'all, you know, a syndicate or some shit. On. So when I came to social media, I was big court, you know. I'm in shape. I cut my hair. I used to look like the 6th member of Bone. You know what I'm saying? I used to look like the 6th member of Bone. Yeah. So, it's to close the gap on a lot of things, even with my history with No Limit. You know, my history with Katt Williams, my history in production. You know, all the things that I've done, the other arenas of business I've succeeded in, but then also to inspire people, you know what I'm saying? You know, everybody got a story to tell. That's right. But I wanted to give people like some hope. I think a lot of these young cats, that's what they missing, man. Sometimes they just miss hope. That's what I learned too, man. A lot of people in these situations, man, they don't have any hope. So they don't really care if they live or die. You know what I'm saying? So how they gonna care about your life? Come on. You know what I mean? But I was never hopeless, but I can remember just being in that environment, and sometimes it was these small little things that inspired me. that made me just give me an inkling of hope or think that what the possibilities could be beyond where I was. Yeah. And so I want to be able to give that to somebody else, you know.
Can you speak on kicking it with Katt Williams, man? What was y'all relationship like?
Oh, that's me and Katt. That's a tricky one. Yeah, shout out to the homie Katt, man. Me and Katt was super cool, man. We were super close back in the day. Yeah. We actually, you know, one thing about Katt, I will say, man, that's a real cat. I did a movie. I produced a movie called Young American Gangsters. I used my own money. I spent like $300,000 of my own money. This was back in 04, 03, 04. And I called Katt. He was Katt Williams at that time. You know, now of course not the Katt that he was in recent years, but he was still Katt. You know what I mean? And I called him and was like, man, you know, man, would you be in my movie for the day? You know what I'm saying? I need you for a day. And that nigga's like, yeah, wherever you need me, whatever you need. Now, he could have been on some funny shit. Like, he could have charged me. He could have did all that. But, I mean, this was my partner, though. Yeah. You know what I mean? But he didn't. So I've always, you know, he showed up. He did everything I asked him to do. So I've always been grateful for that, for him, you know. Now, we did have a little misunderstanding, a little situation that got a little ugly a few years back, maybe like 2014. But I'm past it at this point. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm saying by, you know, growing and evolving. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, some shit, sometimes you got to charge shit to people's mind and not their heart. Thanks. You know what I mean? Thanks. So being the bigger man and just, you know, letting shit go, I'm happy that he's thriving and he's, you know, turned a corner seemingly, and he's doing better and still doing what he loves to do and being successful. So I think because that was my brother at a time, and he was solid, and he was, you know, that's always going to be my guy.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Okay, working with Master P and being able to be up close and personal with him, and from an outside perspective, what are the qualities that you think P has that allowed him to live out every black man's dream that you could have possibly think of, that every black man don't have in him, that caused them not to be able to live out the dream that P lived out?
Yeah. I think it's, like I spoke before, I think it's work ethic, you know, discipline. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Discipline, bro. I think, and it's just, you know, I think too, you know, none of us are perfect, you know what I mean? But I think when we try our best to sow good seeds, you know what I'm saying? I think, you know, P as a big brother, as a leader, you know, as a business guy, in terms of the fold, this thing of ours, No Limit, you know, and mind you, not even just No Limit as a brand, but No Limit as a brotherhood, as as a university.
That's right.
You know, just demonstrating integrity, you know what I'm saying, work ethic, discipline, follow through, you know, a man of his word, you know, again, and I'm not saying this like he's Jesus Christ, but because none of us are perfect, you feel what I'm saying? So I don't want people to take it like that, but, you know, who does the best that he can. And when I say man of his word, even when it's probably not even his best interest. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But his word is his word. You feel me? You know, so even when you talk about situations like, you know, a man of his word, even going to like the Kodak Black thing, you know, even though that got spent in the media and that was some bullshit, you know, that was him being a man of his word, you know, and he still got, you know, got pissed on, you know what I'm saying, for doing the right thing. But yeah, just work ethic, man, and having vision, you know what I'm saying? And really ownership. You know, all those things, like everything that I can say about P, like what you see him say and preach about, these are conversations that we literally have. Yeah. Like even before I got here, I was on the phone with him for an hour, my God. You know, before I got here. You know, when we toss around, you know, ideas, we talk about life, you know, it's almost like it's always a psychology conversation with us. You know what I'm saying? Just a deeper understanding of the human experience and business. And, you know, we really passionate about educating the youth and the next generation. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, ownership. Like he always say, man, don't be the one chasing a check. Let's create a check. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? You know, so, and that's really the understanding that you get, you know, and I'm always grateful. I never take it for granted. You know what I'm saying? Just being able to get counsel from, you know, a Master P, or pick up the phone and call a Ice-T, you know, or a Big Boz or a Jay Prince, being able to have access to these people, you know, and And then I share it. I get the game. You know, that's why I share it with people. That's why I'm able to get a person like Crip Mac and give him that, because they give it to me, you know. And Boz didn't pull me a few times on bullshit. You know what I'm saying? That's why I love my big brother. I done some dumb shit, and he be like, Court, now you know that was some dumb shit, right? Now you know. So, you know, when you can have people around you that are real with you, and that can check you, with love, you know what I'm saying? Then that's priceless.
Okay, UMP, healthy products and stuff like that, man. What y'all working on, Court?
Yeah, hey, that only makes sense though. You know what I'm saying? A few years back, I had a protein powder, called True Muscle Sports.
Okay.
And so it only made sense, especially with him going into the product arena.
Product game,
you know what I'm saying? He's getting his Reginald Lewis on.
That's right.
And like they say, you ain't a real boss until you made other bosses. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
That's real.
So that's what we about. You know, P is about empowering the people around him in his circle and the community. You know, the people that want the information is there. You know what I'm saying? So, obviously I'm in the healthy living, you know what I mean? And so he has all his products. And so, a lot of times people like, oh, do you got something healthy? You got something healthy. So I said, man, I think we should do, a protein supplement, you know what I'm saying? Like a snack, because you already doing the snacks and everything. So we got soldier snacks coming.
Ooh.
Yeah, we got soldier snacks coming. You know what I'm saying? It's a chocolate protein bite, you know what I'm saying? 0 sugar. Yeah. All, low in calories and all of that, but it tastes like a Snicker. You know what I'm saying?
See that?
Yeah. So we got the soldier bites coming, and then we also have True Body Milk, which is a protein supplement, meal replacement. You know what I mean? Yeah. So this is stuff that me and Pete partnered on. We're doing together.
What's your workout regimen, Court? Because obviously you be in that motherfucker working out like a motherfucker.
You know what? I don't get it. I be so busy, bro. I don't get a chance to do it. Yeah.
So you mean tell me you get smoked and it just stay there?
Well, I ain't gonna lie to you, B.I. Listen, bro, I ain't gonna put the 10 on the 2. Some of it's good genetics, my nigga.
Oh, okay, now I'm with you on that,
Some
though.
Of it's good genetics.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah. So, I mean, I eat right probably 90% of the time. You know what I'm saying? I cheat. I eat some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Juggy. Juggy gonna laugh when he see this. Yeah. Because every time he see me eat some bullshit, he be like, today's a cheat day, huh? Because he see me eating it all the time. I eat pizza, all kind of shit. But yeah, man, that's another thing I try to teach people and educate is healthy living. So what's
your regular diet then when you ain't cheating?
Man, I eat grilled chicken, broccoli,
Yeah.
and rice, my nigga. Like I eat the same mundane, monotonous, dry ass food.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The only reason that it works,
you don't live to eat, you eat to live.
Exactly.
I'm with you.
I'm not a foodie, so it's easy for me. I don't really trip on food like that. You know what I'm saying? So I eat that. I eat a little bit of fish.
Yeah.
I eat pretty clean for the most part.
I don't blame that.
Yeah. I don't drink or smoke. I never have drank alcohol. I never done drugs. I never smoked weed. Nothing like that.
What was it that kept you from getting into it?
Man, I grew up in a household with functioning alcoholics, and I grew up around weed and drugs and different things like that. So I think just growing up around that at an early age, it just turned me off from it. Just to be very honest with you, I didn't like to see my people inebriated, and shit like that. And I grew up, I'm made in the 70s, raised in the 80s. So I grew up when the weekends, you know how it be. They cool, they listen to music, and then the minute that something go wrong, the motherfuckers fighting and all of that.
They'll break it loose in this thing.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers drinking the Jack Daniels, the Hennessy, all of that. So I don't know, man. I think I was just turned off from it at an early age. And then, I tried weed when I was like 14. Yeah. I didn't like the way it made me feel. Exactly. I think I got tipsy when I was like 15. I didn't like the way it made me feel. I like to be in control.
Exactly.
And I like to see everything, especially coming from where I come from and doing what I was doing. You had to be sharp, man.
When you talk about what you seen, man, what is it that Court's eyes saw traveling the world with P and traveling the world on your own and stuff like that you will always take with you?
Specifically, what do you mean?
That really struck you. So if y'all out on the road and you seeing the biggest arena ever, or the instances in where you seen where fans' lives were changed, or something that left you the most inspired after walking away from
Oh,
it?
that's all the time, bro. I'm
Damn.
gonna tell you why. Because, man, when you really see the impact that No Limit as a brand has had on the culture.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm with P all the time, and it's so funny because I forget, because he's just my friend.
Yeah.
So I forget that he's Master P, he's a celebrity. You know what I'm saying? So when you see the real love and you see the not just him, but the culture, No Limit as a brand and what it represents.
Yeah.
People really be like, oh my God, like, man, you really helped me through this.
Yeah.
Your movement or your music helped me through this. You taught me this. You taught me that. And they hang on to that. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people have tanks tattooed on them because of what it represents.
Yeah.
So it's not just the music, it's what it represents. Black ownership, it represents power.
Yeah.
It represents coming from the mud. It represents the dream, achieving the goal and surpassing the goals. You know what I'm saying? So it's what it represents.
That's what's so crazy about it. So now that brings me to my other question. You just hit me with all of the stuff that it represents, and I can vouch for every single thing, whether it be business. You think of No Limit, the greatest business of all damn time.
Right.
When you think about entertainment taking over and just everything else in general, do you feel like he gets the credit that he deserves throughout the industry for what he put down in the game?
Now, when you say one thing, let me say this: P don't trip off of shit like that.
Okay.
But let's just say this: he's the people's champ.
Yeah.
The people,
they know better.
They know.
Yeah.
The
I'm
people
with you.
that count know.
I'm with you.
Now the industry, that's subjective.
And that would be, and I hate to have the question, but I need you to finish that up. But my follow up to what you're about to say is, why do you think that those people?
I know
try
exactly
to pull
why.
that? So
I know exactly why.
Yeah.
I mean, for one, you got a lot of these cats that's still trying to compete with P. They still trying to catch up, and they never will. It can't be done. You know what I'm saying? You won't be able to repeat that. You know what I mean? So that's for starters.
Okay.
Let me say that for starters.
I'm
and
with
then
you.
also, P don't play the game. A lot of these cats be in their feelings because P is
Won't
a
play
family
with 'em.
man. He's a family man. We all are, as I am as well. We don't go to the clubs with these niggas. We not hanging out with these niggas. We not doing dope chasing women with these niggas. So we don't go to the Hollywood she parties and all of that old weird shit. You know what I'm saying? We do our work and we go home to our families.
Exactly.
And we contribute to the community.
Thanks.
So what happens is when you not playing the game, because people ask me like, damn, P should be mentioned in the same echelon of Puffy and Jay-Z.
Yeah.
And that's not a knock to them. Those guys have done wonderful. But it's just that he don't play the game.
Yeah.
He just doesn't play the game. He's really the people's champ. P is a regular dude. You know what I mean? He don't, that's just not how we move. You know what I'm saying? So, but the people know.
Yeah. We all know better. It's the silent majority.
Know. We see it. We see it all the time, man. The people know. The people give him his flowers.
Yeah.
And there are entities in the industry that recognize, his accomplishments and what he's done. But, I think it's just because he don't play the game. And he played by his own rules. Yeah. And that's another thing that I learned. You know what I'm saying? That's why I've been able to be successful in other arenas of business. I created a multi-million-dollar real estate portfolio.
Come on.
I've had other businesses that I created that were successful.
Yeah.
And a lot of it was just from, those things that you it doesn't make any sense to stand next to that, power like that and not leave with any.
Come
what I'm
on
saying?
now.
Yeah, so, that's automatic, So, you incorporate that into your life without even, trying,
Artists that you working with now, because I know you still messing around on the music side of things too, man.
Yeah.
So what's going on here?
Again, I'm from No Limit University, man, and I believe in diversifying. You know what I'm saying? And at this point, man, I don't do nothing for money. I'm so blessed to be at this stage of my life, bro. I'll be honest with you, I don't do nothing for money.
I don't blame you.
If I don't do nothing if I don't get up and do shit, my bills get paid. You
Come
feel
on.
me? Because I've put in the work to where I've been able to afford that type of life. But at the same time, so everything that I'm doing because I'm passionate about and I just enjoy.
Facts.
So music being one of them, you know what I mean? And of course, you know, being next to one of the biggest music moguls of our generation, you know, and being able to learn, you know, different things about marketing and just going after what you want. So yeah, you know, I'm working with an artist, Messiah Way,
That's
you know,
right.
out of the Bahamas, you know what I'm saying? And I always like to say that I believe he's probably going to be the next Drake, but the first Messiah Way, you know what I'm
I'm
saying?
with you.
So he puts you in the mind of that. So we got some songs out on him. We're going to start really flooding with some visuals here soon, but he's a super dope artist, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and you know, the platform that I created, you know, in terms of music was really to help, you know, get my city as well. You know, I'm passionate about my city. I mean, I've been in LA 20 years, but coming from Kansas City, Missouri, and also, you know, Kansas City, Kansas being the neighboring city that's still fam, you know, outside of tech, we have yet to really have a movement. See, it's a difference between a movement and a moment. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I want to see us, you know, beyond. I want to see us have like y'all, like Atlanta, you know, like LA, like New York, like Detroit, you know what I'm saying? So I want to try my hand and really try to be a conduit of you know, for Kansas City to the world, you know what I'm saying? Because we got a lot of talent in Kansas City. You know, even though I'm in LA, you know, I'm still very much tapped in with my hometown. You know, so I mean, we got, you know, of course we got Tech, and you know, Tech came to the podcast as well.
Come on,
you know, shout out to Tech 9, that's my brother. You know what I mean?
Cold-blooded.
Shout out to Black Walk. But you know, we got, you know, phenomenal artists. You know, like Sully Q, who he did the theme song for Holding Court. You know, and everybody keep asking me when that's coming out. It's coming soon with the video. You know, Sully Q. You know, we got Roblo the Star, Amira Wayne. You know, we got some hot female talent as well. C-Dub the Youngblood, YGKC, Marley Young. We have so many, you know, talented people there, you know, and I just want, you know, I want my city to get that shine, man. We got to get that shine.
Come on, it's time for that.
It's time, bruh. It's time, you know.
Lastly, Court, what do you want to let your people know, and how can these folks contact you, man?
Man, hit me on IG at I am Big Court. You know what I'm saying? Hit me Holding Court Podcast on IG as well. Subscribe, like, and comment, of course, to the Holding Court Podcast. And yeah, man, I just want people to know, man, listen, don't be scared to change. Be a purpose chaser, not a paper chaser. You know what I'm saying? You know, follow your passion, follow your purpose. There's no limit what you can do. You know what I'm saying? Of course, you know. And another gratuitous plug, Holding Court Podcast. Subscribe, like, and comment. You know what I'm saying? But then also, too, man, I want to say, you know, I actually want to give you your flowers too.
Oh, man.
You feel me?
You know,
I'm gonna flip it on you. You know what I'm saying? No, on some real shit. Because as I've stepped into this content game, it's not many of us that operate with integrity. You know what I'm saying? And really are good dudes and really, you know, trying to do it the right way. You know, so I just want to let you know that we recognize you. You know what I'm saying? And I see you, and the people do too. You know what I mean?
See, what I realized in the game myself, Court, was that, you know, it's not as serious as everybody makes it out to be.
Right.
No, you ain't got to gut nobody like a fish to get nowhere, man. All you got to do is just do you, man, and let the rest fall as it may. It's not that damn serious the way you got to be giving folks hell left and right just to get somewhere. And then also, it's not that damn serious the way you can't help nobody.
Right.
If you can help a motherfucker, keep it moving.
Man, people don't understand that's where your blessings are tied up in.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? When you pay it forward, you sow them seeds, man. I help. That's why I give my help freely where I can, even if it's a bit of information or whatever. Because you know, a lot of times, and I don't want to just reduce it to just black folks, but I'm talking about black folks. When we get some power and some information, a lot of time motherfuckers get in a position don't want to share it.
They running with that stuff.
They want to run. You know what I mean? So you have to be, you know, you are fortunate when you get people like a Big Court and a Beehive that just share the information. You know what I'm saying, and give a shit about the culture.
That's right.
And want to see them do well. You know, and that's what our whole mission is. You know what I'm saying? Me, P, you know, Boz, our whole thing, like even Boz. You know, Boz is working with you know, educating people about financial literacy and their credit and different things like that. So even we all have these positive initiatives to educating the culture. You know what I'm saying? Because listen, we all got money. Money come and go, bro.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? Money come and go. You know, but at the end of the day, when you dead and gone, nobody gonna remember how much money you had. People remember how you made them feel.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? So you got to figure out what type of legacy you trying to leave behind.
Yes,
so,
sir.
you know, that's why I'm coming with the book, Chronicles of a No Limit Soldier, the products. These are things that will be here after I'm gone. You know, that will still be able to touch people. You know what I'm saying?
I ain't mad at it. Court.
Shit.
Appreciate you coming through this thing, man.
I appreciate you having me, brother.
Wishing nothing but the best and much success.
For sure.
Beehive Radio, shout it, Big Court. Holler at y'all in a minute, man. We go.